سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح وبث الدعاء الخفي الصريح.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I've just noticed whilst looking at myself on the camera as it's recording that I decided to pick a jubba which matches the background. Hey, can't believe that. What was the chances of that happening? So we do tend to have sometimes a little backdrop, but what we've decided, because we've kind of redone our studio, which is a multi-used room for other purpose as well, and we thought we'd repaint the wall as we were doing some renovation work here. Then we've gone for a fancy color, some color that you know, when I spoke to the decorator, I said, look, pick a color which you don't think I have a jubba. So he said, okay. So I said, like, pick something like pink. You know, I don't have any pink jubbas. Well, not the last time I checked anyway. I said, pick something like that. Don't pick white, don't pick black, don't pick whatever. So he says, okay. So when I came in one day and he painted all the wall turquoise or aquamarine or whatever color you want to call this, I said, why did you pick that color for? He says, you don't have a jubba like that. I said, I think I have two jubbas like that. So anyway, that's where we are. So what we will do, inshallah, is for this series, this part, which is part one, which is background and purity, it's going to be the old aquamarine purity. Yes, works, water. It's like I'm in a big vat of water going on behind me. The next part, which will go to ritual purification, inshallah, I'll try to remember not to wear my aquamarine type color jubba, and we'll have a backdrop just to see how that plays out, inshallah. But anyway, me explaining that to you has lost us a couple of minutes, so let's quickly get back to this. So we've introduced use of water in our new section, which is manner in removing physical impurities, and we discussed in the last one visible filth. Today we're going to speak about invisible filth. Now, invisible filth is purification processes to wash it until one thinks that it is most probably clean. Why? Because there's no other method to determine its purity state. Because remember, this is not the days of million-pound laboratories. The science of the day was sight, smell, and taste. Okay, that was the science, or hearing if there was a need for. That was the science. So if you wanted to determine if this water was clean, now I'm assuming if I send this to a laboratory and I'll find out, I don't want to, because they'll probably find out that I haven't washed this cup for a long time, and there was germs in it, and then there's been a fly flying through it, and then maybe a mouse sat in it for a little bit, did a little bit of a tap dance, whatever. God knows what's been going on in this cup, and I have not washed it. Now I'm having regret now drinking this water out of it. So if I did send this to a laboratory, they might test it and come back and say, oh, this is only 99.9% pure water, there's this in it, that, and whatever, and you know, will be put off. But then you will not find any water that will be 100% pure, whatever that means. Okay, so what do we do? Does that mean that that every water is in our pack? No. The science of the day was you would smell it. Water doesn't really have much of a smell, which I guess is a good sign. You would look at it. Well, it looks clear. I can't see anything in there. Well, not with my eyesight anyway. And then you would taste it, which I guess is a risky one, because if it was something, you know, you've committed yourself. The other easy option would be to take a bit and put it on the end of your tongue just to see what it was like. But anyway, we're going to go for it. And it tastes like water, as I've been told, because I rarely drink water, so I have to get a third opinion as to what water is, or ask somebody. So water. So what about cloth? One is required to wash the cloth by allowing the water to soak into it, and then to rinse it back out again. So it allows the water to get right into the material and then rinse it back out, not sink it back out. This should be performed 3 times in order to be sure that the filth has been removed. That's where we get our probability from, is to do it 3 times. Because we can't see this filth. And this could be an example of filth you can't see. It could be human urine. Now, it might be that if a person's not drinking enough water, then it might be easier to see because of its colour yellow due to the urea. But generally speaking, if people are drinking well, then, you know, the drips of urine is difficult to see. But if a person knows, then they would wash that out 3 times. However, where there is an abundance of water, here now we all live in a state of abundance of water. We have tap water, for example, and likewise we rarely wash clothes now. I do remember back in the day when most of the washing was done by hand. Now most of the washing is done by the machine. Then if there is, then is in which case it's not required to rinse. Why? Because the water is flowing through and you get so much water coming through and being replaced with fresh water continuously. There are many athar which detail the washing of the invisible filth from body, clothes and place of worship, for example, and that is to be 3 times. We'll just give one as an example, which is narrated by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, in which he reports that the Prophet of Allah said, إِذَا اسْتَيْقَظَ أَحَدُكُم مِّن نَوْمِهِ, that when one of you wakes from his sleep, فَلَا يَغْمِسْ يَدُهُ فِي الْإِنَاءِ, then he shouldn't go immediately and place his hand directly into the vessel which would have water in. حَتَّى يَغْسِلَهَا ثَلَاثًا, until he washed his hand 3 times. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي أَيْنَ بَاتَتْ يَدُهُ, for he does not know where his hand ventured during the night, and it could be that he's got filth on his hand. Now if he immediately puts this hand inside the main vessel for wudu, then all the water has become impure, because we're going to talk about quantity of water. Now it's become impure, now he can't use this for wudu. So what he should do first is just go wash, get a cup or jug, wash this hand first. Now that this hand is clean, now he can use this to make wudu. Obviously in our situation it's a lot easier because we have sinks and tap water, so we don't need to worry about that. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الدعاء الخفي الصريح يسعك الفضل